Merkabah Synchronization exercises, synchronizing personal Merkabah fields, is done by harmonizing the Merkabah fields and condensing them into a singularity. This process takes the concentration of those two individual light bodies in coordination so that the actual configuration becomes unified. Before it is unified, there are separate Merkabah modules or structures that are seen, and harmonizing these is a matter of both light bodies cooperating in this procedure at the same time. It is not really possible for one light body to attain this type of harmony with the other light body without the other light body's actual participation and permission. This is because of the intense synchronicity of the Merkabah field, in that it has to be totally unified for a unified force to be emitted from the Merkabah field. And a unified Merkabah field, if it isn't perfectly unified, it becomes a matter of unresonance or conflicting frequencies. Sometimes the frequency differences are so minute that they are not observable. Yet the operation of the relationship could be satisfactory on lower level or lower light level manifestations of the portal energy, using a synchronization technology based on relationships between the Merkabah points between the two light bodies can arise in a synchronization through time. These types of intimacy synchronization exercises allow for the light body growth of those participants. In usual format, the light bodies are in a particular size format in relationship to each other. The physical bodies can be present or they can be elsewhere. These light body exercises involve the manipulation of the size structure of the human, well, not the human body, the light body, in relation to each other. So what this involves is the conscious manipulation of the size and intensity and shape of the light bodies as they relate to each other. And so much of this has to be done by feeling, that is, through light body senses. And the light body senses essentially are an extension of the light body in the energy realm, and it is through the light body channels or the nadis that extend out from the light body at particular types of distances, depending on the type of light body. Some light bodies are reflections of the original light body and have other types of light body duties or responsibilities, or one would say orbs of influence, since these light bodies in their dimensionality are at a particular frequency that are at harmonics of the original light body. Therefore, achieving light body harmonics on the primary basis of the primary light body is of extreme importance for achieving a type of physical harmony as well, because the outer light bodies deal with other or outer types of realities that aren't necessarily as involved in the physical and the manifestation of the energy, and especially the energy amplification through the Merkabah types of contact, synchronous movement, and activations. These activations, of course, are usually occur due to motion of the Merkabah, of the light body in relation to the other light body. Therefore, having a particular types of alignment of the Merkabahs in proximity, and then to be able to rotate at various speeds in various directions allows the type of light body manifestation of the couple. And what this can bring about is a type of Merkabah field or portal field enlargement. These Merkabah fields exist in individuals to a degree, but they are not normally activated. How they exist is that they exist within the structure of the Merkabah, which extends or is actually part of the light body extension, and has a particular type of attributes as well. The extension of the will of the individuals who are in fact controlling the light bodies can manifest in the particular rotational speeds of the Merkabahs. Now, in a rotational effect, the necessity of maintaining harmonic distances between the geometrical structures of the Merkabah fields is essential. So in most cases there is a unity, meaning that the Merkabah fields are unified, or they are at right angles to each other in order to affect a structure harmonic that is stable. There are other harmonics that may not be as stable, such as based on other geometries. And these types of geometries give rise to various types of light body Merkabah emanations at various frequencies, and they can usually only be maintained for a certain length of time, depending on the willpower of the participants. Having light body willpower, of course, is part of the training to be able to do this kind of work in a state of mind that is conducive to high-level Merkabah energy activation. Of course, requires not only the training and the dedication, the willpower, but the time has to be set aside for these types of activities, especially if they involve other participants in a particular type of energy manifestation and consciousness retrieval or attainment. In the classification of Merkabah field manipulations by individuals, there can be multiple Merkabah activations occurring depending on the number of participants within the sphere or sphere of influence. Normally, a Merkabah field is surrounding the individual or within the individual, depending on the compression ratio of the Merkabah in the individual light body. The other compression ratio to the other individuals is also important, so that there should be normally a unified Merkabah activation, so that normally requires that all the participants have a particular size of their Merkabah that is unified. So if they are going to participate in an exercise, they may have their Merkabah shrunk down to, say, within, say, 5 feet of the core of their being, of their light body. If others in the group are participating, can do that, and then maintain those positions within, say, a circle, and then be able to have singularity within a position, and then the rotational aspects of these Merkabah fields can create especially high consciousness and portal awakenings. These kinds of events can sometimes be unsettling and be accompanied by high-pitched noises and even trembling by the participants as the layers or levels of light reality get shifted around these portals that are being created consciously through this activity of meditation and concentration. The light body singularity exercises also allow for travel to various dimensions, portals, time travel, and also especially ability to synchronize conscious awareness within the group. So the light body master, when observing, monitoring, and actually controlling some of these exercises, is in fact giving the students direction towards their own light body manifestations. These types of lessons are something they can take with them, but in the first part of it, they should really try to follow the directions without too much deviation, because of the consequence it can have upon the other participants. Meaning that if you have 3 or 4 people setting up a rotating Merkabah fields of particular frequency harmonics to each other, and one individual pulls out or stops concentrating, that can create a bad harmonic, in that the fields of the others have to adjust immediately to the new geometrical shapes. And if an individual falls out of the vortex, one might say, while this is occurring, they really need to stay out because of the problems of continual readjusting to various Merkabah configurations. But in classroom exercises, these types of in-out of harmony type of exercises are necessary, so that when you're doing actual work, Merkabah work, and you get into a pod and are working, and individuals in the pod are somehow lose concentration or are under attack, their harmonics become distorted, and it is up to the other individuals within the pod to compensate. And if the individual within the pod disappears, which means that they've lost their concentration, they've probably snapped back into their physical body and can no longer participate in the mission, they're out of it, and the other participants have to adjust immediately in order to be able to save the mission and to try to achieve whatever goals that are possible. In most cases, the loss of a participant in the pod can create pod disintegration, but then if the pod is large enough, it will survive in that there are enough entities, enough light beings to be able to maintain the structure of the rotating Merkabah fields that are used in generation of the vehicle. The Merkabah vehicles, which are generated through these types of time portal, space-time portal exercises, are one might say disposable. These vehicles can come and go. They are created spontaneously. They exist everywhere, yet in their own consciousness they don't have to be in our particular dimension at any particular time. So their manifestation, or the manifestation of the light body Merkabah in the three-dimensional reality, is only a partial idea. They're not actually in that reality. They're in the other fourth dimension and other types of dimensions that are reflections of those dimensions as well. And finding the harmonics within the group, or within the individuals in the group, and being able to bring them into harmony with the other members in the group is a task that the light body master must actually master in order to do this type of work and teaching. So in many cases the light body apprentice will actually have to learn how to maintain this with other students. That is part of the training of the apprentice, to be able to be the master, to see these other individuals working in their Merkabah fields and synchronicities, and being able to determine if they are in fact in synchronous motion and or frequency. And the responsiveness of the individuals to this type of training can determine how far they can go with this, and exactly what types of powers that would be available to them. These powers, also called siddhas, I think, by the Hindus, and other abilities that are necessary to the light body players. These abilities that are normally developed in light body exercises are sometimes not admired by other practices that don't emphasize the psychic aspect of these light body training, in that they may say concentrate on concentration and meditation, or that type of focus, and not so much on the other.